Okay, so we have an urgent information coming out. Evacuation warnings intensifying in Alaska capital with record glacier flooding predicted. A few days ago, this also took place. Massive landslide in Alaska triggers damaging tsunami with 10 to 15 foot waves. Now, we did talk about this a few days ago. We're going to focus on this one here. And this is my second video in the past 2 days. And there is evacuation order going on. Evacuation warning, excuse me, intensifying in the capital. So there's been a lot of shaking going on. Also, this Mount Spur volcano that they're keeping an eye on. And at the same time, you do have Donald and Putin meeting, but it's not going to be in the capital. It's going to be over in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. All right, so let's see what's going on here, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you again for your support. Sections of Alaska's capital city are bracing for the arrival of what could be record floodwaters due to rainwater and snow melt flowing downstream from a basin dammed by the Mendenhall Glacier. Some Juneau residents in the flood zone have evacuated. So this is a very important update. People are leaving. Heating warnings, and officials there intensified their warnings Tuesday, saying don't wait. Evacuate tonight. Wow. Officials there intensified their warnings yesterday. And saying don't wait. Evacuate tonight. On Tuesday morning, authorities confirmed the water has started escaping the ice dam, with flooding expected into Wednesday. The Mendenhall Glacier is about 12 miles from Juneau, home to 30,000 people, and is a popular tourist attraction due to its proximity to Alaska's capital city and easy access on walking trails. Now, homes on the city outskirts are within miles of Mendenhall Lake, which sits below the glacier, and many front the Mendenhall River, into which the glacial outburst is flowing. Now, the National Weather Service said it expected flooding to peak around 8 a.m. to noon local time, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And later, the National Weather Service said the peak was probably going to occur closer to 8 a.m. local time. Now, this will be a new record based on all of the information that we have. Nicole, a Weather Service meteorologist, told a news conference Tuesday. Look at this here, guys. Look at it. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can show you this picture. Nope. Advertisement. Give me a second here. Here we go. See that? Wow. Seems like everybody's getting sandbag stuff ready. Okay, so it says here we could have easily had almost 1,000 structures, most of them residents, some multifamily, flooded. And for many of those homes, it would have been the second year in a row of flooding. really cold, icy waters, really difficult to mitigate against. Does a lot of damage to your home because of that glacial silt. Now you have the Mendenhall Glacier. It's about 12 miles from downtown Juneau and is a popular tourist attraction due to its proximity to Alaska's capital city, home to 30,000 people and easy access on walking trails. Homes on the city's outskirts are within miles of Mendenhall Lake, which sits below the glacier, and many from the Mendenhall River, into which the glacier outburst is flowing. Now it says here, some Juneau residents in a flood zone evacuated Tuesday. Heating guidance from official who warned the community, don't wait, evacuate tonight. Evacuated areas were reopened to residents only Wednesday afternoon, officials said. The city of Juneau said crews will be coming through to assist the flooding damage. It advised resident Noto to drive through any standing water. In addition to posing a safety hazard, driving generates waves that cause additional damage to nearby structures. I want to show you this picture really quick here. On Tuesday morning, authority confirmed water had started escaping the ice dam. Later Wednesday morning, U.S. Forest Service Ranger Mr. Michael told reporters at a news conference that the west side of the glacier's recreation area remained under water, along with a number of trails in the national forest that surrounds it. Now, the Forest Service has closed the entire Mendenhall Glacier recreation area until further notice. And Down said at the briefing that it will likely be 5 or 6 days before rangers are able to fully assess the situation. The visitor center in the recreation area, however, will reopen Thursday, he said. Now, public schools in Juneau will delay their return for the upcoming academic year by 1 day, resuming classes this Friday instead of Thursday. Flooding from the basin has become an annual concern since 2011, and in recent years has swept away houses and swamped hundreds of homes. Government agency installed temporary barriers this year in hopes of protecting hundreds of homes in the inundation area from the widespread damage. Look at this picture here. You know, I did mention this many times, but we are definitely seeing water, fire, earthquakes, and pretty soon strong winds, which is the hurricane. The water, the flood water, the fire is the wildfire, earthquake, ground movements, the earth, and then wind will be the strong one, which I believe will be the last one, which will be fire. It says here you have the flooding happens because a smaller glacier near the Mendenhall Glacier retreated, a casualty of the the climate stuff, and left a basin known as Suicide Basin that fills with rainwater and snowmelt each spring and summer. When the water creates enough pressure, It forces its way under or around the ice dam created by the Mendenhall Glacier, enters Mendenhall Lake, and eventually flows down the Mendenhall River. Now, before the basin began overtopping, the water level was rising rapidly, as much as 4 feet per day, according to the National Weather Service. It says here the city saw successive years of record flooding in 2023 and 2024, with the river last August cresting at 15.99 feet, about a foot over the prior record set a year earlier, and flooding extending farther into the Mendenhall Valley. This year's flooding was predicted to crest at between 16.3 and 16.8 feet, the Weather Service said. But then said an an even higher 16.75 feet was more likely. Wow. Seems like this year is even worse. Last year, nearly 300 residences were damaged. Video posted on social media 2 years ago showed towering trees behind a home falling into the rushing Mendenhall River as the water ate away at the bank. Now, eventually, the home, teetering at the edge, also collapsed into the river. A large outburst can release some 15 billion gallons of water, according to the University of Alaska Southeast and Alaska. I'm going to skip all that information. That's the equivalent of nearly 23,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools during last year's flood. The flow rate in the rushing Mendenhall River was about half that of Niagara Falls, the researchers say. It says here, city officials responded to concern from property owners this year by working with state, federal, and tribal entities to install a temporary levee along roughly 2.5 miles of riverbank in an attempt to guard against widespread flooding. The 10,000 HESCO barriers are essentially giant sandbags intended to protect more than 460 properties completely during an 18-foot flood event, said Emergency Manager Ryan. Now it says here the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is at the start of what expected to be a years-long process of studying conditions in the region and examining options for a more permanent solution, such as a levee, and the timeline has angered some residents who say it's unreasonable. Outburst floods are expected to continue as long as the Mendenhall Glacier acts as an ice dam to seal off the basin, which could span another 25 to 60 years, according to University and Science Center researchers. All right, so this is the latest updates once again. Let me just pause this really quick here. Threat over Alaska capital sees record glacier-related flooding as river tops 16.6 feet. And people being told to pack and leave. at the same time, like I said, this happened a few days ago. I did post a video of it. I'm not gonna read the article on this one here, but massive landslide in Alaska triggers damaging tsunami wave. Excuse me, tsunami with 10 to 15 foot waves. We are definitely seeing a lot of stuff going on in Alaska. A lot of stuff. Earthquakes, volcano on high alert. I think it's Mount Spurn. Then you have all this event that's going on, and we are praying for the people in Alaska. We are definitely seeing a lot of water happening, a flood and everything, and it's happening worldwide. Fire, a lot of fire, and a lot of water. That's a wake up call there, and like I said, there's going to be a lot more earthquake to come. I do believe so, and there's going to be a lot of strong winds, which again is the hurricane season. Give me a second here. Let me take you to the National Hurricane Center really quick. Well, it has gained 5 miles per hour. It's 50 miles per hour, and let's see where it's heading to. And it's turning. There you go. We talked about this. It's gonna turn. It's not gonna hit Florida. It's gonna turn, and yeah, it's heading towards like the northern part of the Atlantic. Alright guys, so this is where we at right now. I'm going to keep it updated when it comes to all these flooding, storms, and hurricanes. We are sending prayers to the people out there in Alaska. Be safe out there. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about in the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.